This video is sponsored by Squarespace, baby! Prime was one of the first influencer brands to go mainstream. This drink, shouldered by the popularity of its co-founders Logan Paul and KSI, became the fastest growing drink company in history. Apparently, they made over $250 million in their first year, and just a year later, they sold their billionth bottle. But that was back in 2023, and if you look at the Google Trend forecast for Prime drink, you'll see that the hype is definitely over. And instead of being on resale pages for 10x their list price, these drinks are now in the bargain bin. So yes, looking back, we can kind of see that the downfall of Prime seemed inevitable. But this is not just another story of a brand or product that exploded onto the scene, drove everybody into a frenzy, and then was just forgotten a year or so later. But in some ways, this story is unique because Prime set a new standard just above the floor. They were one of the first companies to truly and fully exploit all of the grifter tactics that we now see becoming the new normal for selling products today. And they showed to other brands just how shite you could be and still make a lot of money. And today we see them using all of these tactics again with their latest product, Prime Protein. So today we are going to be talking about the predictable downfall of Prime.
I have some incredible news for you guys regarding Prime that I figured out during the editing process. As we remember in our protein video, we released our protein video, and then after we released it, Starbucks releases a giant new protein line, huge marketing push.
As is tradition.
Massive change. This happened with our self-driving cars video. It's now kind of happening with our Prime video, and we are luckily like maybe a few days ahead where we can catch it. Since we last talked, they've released a Prime protein shake.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
It is their next innovation in Prime technology.
Dude.
32 grams of protein, ultra filtered milkshake.
32 grams is crazy.
They keep pitching this drink, and specifically their trademarked protein lock technology. And I was like, what is this protein lock technology?
Oh, no.
And they're describing it. They describe it on their Instagram page. It is the exact same thing that Fairlife has been doing for like over a decade. And they're pitching it as if they invented something new in the milk space.
In the milk space.
They're just filtering out protein and then using that milk concentrate to add it back in and create a high protein shake. Logan Paul is explaining the science of milk filtration on Instagram. But it is just like the Fairlife, like the Coca-Cola milk company. This is their tech that they've just co-opted, basically. I mean, it's all proprietary, so there's no way of saying for sure, but it's the same thing.
Dude, can you imagine drinking a cookies and cream protein shake out of a can, bro? With 32 grams of protein?
That's base.
So Prime still is a partnership between KSI, but I think this protein shake specifically is a partnership between Logan Paul and this guy named Bradley Martin, who is this totally jacked up steroid fitness influencer.
Oh, and they fought each other.
And they faked a fight to promote the shake, yeah. I didn't think they were going to like reference how similar their drink and Fairlife's drink is, but a day ago, Logan Paul put out a reel on the Prime Instagram account and said, okay, here's Fairlife's protein shake that they've been doing since 2010 or whatever. And then here's ours. Ours has 6 grams more of protein and 2 grams less of sugar, and like these tiny little differences.
It's exactly what they did with all their other things. They just go, hey, look, the numbers are better.
At first I was concerned because I was like, oh shit, we missed it. And then I was like, we laid out the equation for the entire video of what drives all of these products. And then at the end of the equal sign, it's Prime Protein.
So let's start with a timeline. The real flop for Prime happened in 2024, and there have been articles about the downfall of the company ever since, but these were like big numbers. We're talking 70% drop in revenue in the UK and over 90% drop in profits overall, which is hefty. Remember, this was a bottled drink company that disrupted an industry with only a handful of legacy brands and had one of their bottles sell for $1,500 on the resale market just a year earlier. But as one Reddit commenter perfectly summarizes, as they often do, their drink has been on deep discount for a while now. Though, does it matter? These guys made a fuck ton of money on water. Everyone involved made money. If it closes up shop, it doesn't matter to them. They all move on to the next grift, and they'll make money because people are dumb as fuck. Such an articulate commenter. Now, this is a bold claim from Reddit user SC who doesn't appear to have any sources to back up this claim. But the reason why we decided to make this video 2 years after anyone last cared about the brand is to answer this Redditor's suspicion. Because the Prime story is like the perfect encapsulation of modern grift economics. They sort of pioneered, or maybe like formalized, how companies are using those same tactics today to sell people useless crap that they do not need. So in this video, we're going to be outlining the 3 pillars of the modern grift, starting with the product itself. But first, we got to thank today's video sponsor, Squarespace. Here's something that you can do to ensure that you are effectively communicating your services to your customers, and that is a great frickin' website. I have been using Squarespace my entire career. They have been fantastic to work with, and it's amazing for us to get them as a sponsor because we love recommending sponsors that we actually use. I got Lou to revamp my website for this integration. Thank you, Lou. And we went pretty minimalist, which I think looks good, but luckily Squarespace is really flexible to what you need. With intuitive drag and drop editing, beautiful styling options, and great visual design effects, and more, you can build a website with really no experience at all. So if you want to check them out, go to squarespace.com/Hildebrand or just click the link down in our description for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, you can use that code Hildebrand to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. It's a great way to get started. But see, I think it's important to have a website today because it helps you tell your story online. On my website, you get a bit of a better understanding of who Matthew and Lou are, 2 people who are entirely critical to making sure that these videos are possible. That isn't something that you really necessarily get to understand if all you do is see our videos on YouTube. So maybe you have a website already, but it's a bit outdated and you need to revamp it, or you're gonna start something new from scratch. Squarespace is the perfect place to do that. And they have fully integrated SEO tools for online discovery to make sure that people actually find you. Every website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more. So you show up more often on search engines and bring more people to your site. They've also got built-in analytics tools to review website traffic, learn where to focus engagement, and track revenue from bookings, invoices, or product sales all in one place. It's extremely handy if you're running a business today to have these kinds of things at your disposal. So if you're interested, go to squarespace.com/Hildebrand or click the link down in the description for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the code Hildebrand to get yourself 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you, Squarespace. Let's get back into the video. Okay, so the number 1 pillar of the modern day grift that you should know is that the product itself doesn't actually have any value. Like, let's face it, Prime just sucked. Now, to clarify, before we get into this, I'm going to be using the terms grift and scam sort of interchangeably here, but I would say that not all trends are scams or grifts. Probably the best way to tell if a product is a scam is whether or not it actually has any real world value. So there are some consumer stories where products like Labubu's or Stanley's or whatever get very viral and very popular and people go bananas for it. But those products were actually kind of good at the thing that they were supposed to do. Stanley's held liquid and Labubu's were cute and cuddly. And look, I know that we can probably debate like what value really means, right? Because that's sort of subjective, but I would say things like the Starbucks Bear Cup. It was, in my opinion, a grift. Most of the things on Temu or Shein, a gambling app or service, these are things that aren't really going to give you something that is of any value 5 years from now. And so in many ways, the implosion of the Prime trend could have been seen from the very outset because they had a blatantly terrible product. They positioned themselves within the sport drink category alongside like heavy hitters, like industry standards that have been around since the very beginning, and they promoted nutritional information that sounded great on paper, but were quickly pointed out to be just completely false or downright harmful. Now, we're not going to summarize the dozens of videos online that people have made breaking this down, but basically they kind of fundamentally misunderstood how electrolytes work in their sports drinks, and in some cases they put literally illegal amounts of caffeine into their energy drinks. But none of this actually matters, because they knew in order to sell their stuff, they just needed to keep the hype machine going. Which brings us to number 2, the hype itself. Now, a grift product is always trying to sell you the idea of who you might be when you buy it. It's always an aspirational thing, but specifically, this is the most exciting thing that's ever happened. You have to buy this thing right fucking now. And from the beginning, Prime was a hype machine. Their announcement was the surprise tag team of 2 former online enemies who had fought each other in the ring literally. They were sponsoring Premier League football teams within months of launching. Their flavors are always released strategically in drops with limited edition runs that could only be found for very specific windows of time with prizes like getting $1 million. This kid bought like $6,000 worth of product on the off chance that he wins $1 million, and he did. But I have to think about like all of the people who have bought all this product and then didn't win. Like now they've just got like crates of Prime sitting in their living room. That is gambling. Like that is gambling, quite literally. Honestly, scrolling through their Instagram, it is baffling how many limited edition runs that they've done. It's like every single drop is a new flavor with a new colorway and a new limited time to buy it. And we talked about this in the water bottle video, but releasing a new product is actually like a crazy amount of work and investment. But what is very easy is just changing the color and like adding a slightly different simple syrup to promote something as totally new and novel. It's very easy to manipulate people with packaging on drinks, and it's very easy to slightly alter or change the packaging and the contents of a beverage. And it's crazy to think that now we're getting kind of desensitized to this. Like it's kind of normal that like every month or so we see lineups of people going crazy for some completely useless product. But when Prime first launched, the videos of the crowds of young people lining up to buy these drinks was kind of at another level, and it really made headlines, and people were like, holy crap, this is like a big deal. And it perfectly captured the cycle that these kinds of companies rely on. Because if you have people lined up to buy something, there's going to be press and media around why they're lining up to buy it, and then that's going to lead to more people buying it just so that they can resell it, and those resellers are going to make headlines, which is going to lead to more people lining up, which is going to lead to more people buying it so that they can resell it, and the hype circle just continues from there. And in the Prime situation, with 2 very influential leaders at the helm, all they needed to do was keep the ball rolling. And this brings us to the 3rd pillar of any good grift, which is a trusted figure. So we're at the point today where people are gambling away their money on their smartphones that are in their pocket, and they're buying useless crap off Temu before their last haul has even been shipped. The grift economy is in full swing, and you can get swindled at basically every single turn if you're not careful. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but probably the best and most profitable scams that are out there are the ones that have a trusted figure or influencer at the head that drives the movement. This is the cult leader. You need somebody to tell you that you should drink the punch in order for you to drink the punch. And with Prime specifically, like you can't really separate Prime's success from Logan's career. Yes, KSI is a part of this, of course, but he almost seems kind of reluctant to do it, honestly. Truly, this brand is headed by Logan, and Logan has a very particular way of doing things.
What's interesting is that when you look at his YouTube channel, his biggest grift that he's doing is Pokemon cards. He released a video 20 hours ago. I'm selling the world's most expensive Pokemon card. Top of the description, he has the Pokemon card listing for $2.2 million. And then he has a poly market, I guess it's called, in which you can bet on how much he'll make off of the Pokemon card.
Wow.
Which I guess he's probably also
betting on that card. That is such a crazy thing that we literally predicted in our year-end video.
I think what he figured out is that you can do the quote unquote honest grift, which is do market research, R&D a product, create a drink, do all the health safety stuff, get the factories, get the bottler, get all these deals going, introduce it to the grocery store. That's a very long process, even if you're not directly involved with every step. Or a grift where if you just buy a Pokemon card from like a guy in Dubai and then make a bunch of videos talking about how much it's worth and then sell it for more money and then bet money on how much money you're gonna make off of it.
Yeah, and then make a cut from whoever you've paid to buy it from you.
That's such an easier thing to do. So of course he's gonna not pay attention to Prime anymore. It's so easy to do grifts now. You don't need to put in that much effort anymore if you wanna rip people off. I'm looking at the fucking Polymarket page. I can get ripped off by Logan Paul without having to go to a grocery store. I just punch in money and I lose it.
It's so easy. In the last 5 years, Logan Paul launched Prime, then Prime Energy. He created the Crypto Zoo NFT collection. He launched Lunchly with Mr. Beast, fought Floyd Mayweather, joined the WWE, bought the most expensive Pokemon card of all time, and became a father. 7 apparently random things, but are all connected in one way, which I'm gonna talk about right now. The reason why I'm giving you this guy's CV is because this is all hype. All of these stories are, well, maybe not the kid part, but all of these stories are very exciting, very clickbaity, and very hype-driven. It is this attention-grabbing, hype-driven storytelling that he and his brother have kind of pioneered and normalized. This is the classic story of the American entertainer entrepreneur, the American dream gone grifter. Now, Logan and his brother Jake were literally described as an avatar for the American dream in a Fox Business article, but the Paul brothers, perhaps unlike the many symbols of the American dream of the past, are very comfortable being hated and using that division to make money. Like back in the old days, if you were a celebrity and you wanted to make a quick buck, you'd have to go to like Japan and shoot a weird advertisement hoping that nobody in the US would ever see it. But today it is totally normal and even expected for a company or an influencer or an elected official to pump and dump a stock or a product that they have put very little thought into, other than just to make it go viral so that they can make a bunch of money. And this collective degradation of our moral standards has just meant that anything goes now. You can do whatever the fuck you want as long as it makes money in the process, because we know the people are too overwhelmed to hold anyone accountable. But here's the thing, right? Because it's not actually just about Prime. It's a lot bigger than this. So here we are, having a laugh, right, at the downfall of Prime. But the truth, like that Redditor said right at the very beginning, is that even if Prime failed, Logan's already made his money, right? But when I looked into this, it actually got even worse. See, Logan created one of the most notorious crypto scams ever, but he's recently had that lawsuit dismissed. His Lunchly project with Mr. Beast was a complete disaster and was even rumored to be completely discontinued. But you can still buy it in Walmart today and find tons of locations on their website, even Prime, after being deemed dead or failed in a dozen YouTube titles, is still the 5th most popular beverage in their category, after making $415 million from mid-2024 to 2025, the very time period in which they're talking about its failure. Its demise. Lou, have you seen this video? I'm gonna send in the message right now.
I was trying to look for it. I didn't know.
If you drank an ungodly amount of milk, would you get super buff because of the protein? Well, milk is actually full of sugar, which will make you fat in large quantities.
It will make you fat in large quantities.
What is crazy is like they thought, you know what? A brain rot video is the perfect marketing tool for our demographic.
The thought that I had is, how are they selling protein shakes to 12-year-olds?
Whoa.
These little kids are not like supposed to be consuming, like they're not gonna...
Well, they shouldn't be in the gym, really.
My thought was, if you're 12 years old when Prime first drops, you're like just going to soccer practice and you want like a Gatorade substitute from your favorite influencer. 2 years later, you're starting high school. You've got all of this work to do now that you suddenly have never had to do before. They drop Prime Energy for you. So now you're getting hooked on the energy drinks. 2 years later, you know, you've got a fresh new body you don't know what to do with, you're trying to get jacked, you're trying to look like the people you're looking at on your phone, they drop the protein shake.
Dude,
That's
this is
crazy.
And the thing is like, it is that. You could argue that it's not that, but you're telling me that it's not? You're telling me that that's just like a happy accident? You're telling me that there wasn't a fucking whiteboard in an office with lines and arrows and age ranges all charted out and like scheduled and planned? Like, they have enough money to do that research. They have enough R&D to come up with a plan that looks like this.
We've got the kind of constellation of different Logan Paul moments or different Logan Paul involvements. And now he's been partnered with WWE for a long time and they've been advertising Prime on there. You don't think he's considered that you have a roster of 100 really jacked dudes who are now going to be posing next to Prime protein drinks?
Guys, it's gonna be Prime Creatine next.
The truth is, Logan Paul and lots of other people with a lot of influence and power today have realized that you don't actually have to do anything great to make a lot of money. All you need is attention, good or bad. And it's not just the influencer-led startups that are doing it. And listen, you're at the end of the video now, so you gotta buckle the fuck up here. We started talking about Prime, and then as usual in our videos, we start talking about the real shit that lies underneath. Legacy brands like Starbucks are doing this shit now. Our entire financial system is operating on this idea, and the government of the most powerful country on the planet is pump and dumping the global economy for their own gain. Gambling away your future is just a thing that you can do with your phone now. Houses are built poorly and quickly just to make a buck. Companies are grown so that they can be sold, and nobody even wants to take the seconds it requires to pick something for their own entertainment, so they just scroll on their phone. All of these things are accumulating together so that people with absolutely no problem exploiting the system to their advantage can do so without even having to try. Like, you used to have to be cunning to scam people. You had to actually think about it. And now, you just do whatever the fuck you want. The combination of our institutional safeguards falling apart and our total mental overwhelm due to the internet has meant that everything's just gone completely out of control. People can do whatever they want, apparently. But crucially, you made the choice to click on this video. And so I have to say thank you. Thank you for supporting a channel that is run by 3 people with no help from AI. We're trying to do this business in a way that simply supports us. Like Lou, myself, and Matthew, we all make the same amount of money from this channel. We take the income that we get and we split it 3 ways. That is a fairly obscure and strange concept nowadays. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but like, it wouldn't be that hard for me to follow the Logan Paul business model and just hire a bunch of people in a country that make significantly less money than we do here in North America and just pay myself way more. I think more than ever now, we need to start trying a little bit more. We need to insist on slightly higher standards. And if you are supporting what we do on this channel, you are helping us try to do that here. And if you want to support what we're doing, we have a Patreon page as well, where you can get more involved. But either way, whatever your level of involvement, thank you for being here, and we will see you next week for another upload.